This game is rated M for mature. Hey there everybody, redxparasite here, and welcome back to Let's Play Bayonetta. In the last episode, we finished Chapter 3, got to the Colosseum, and in this episode, we'll be taking on the first major boss. Once, the game actually loads.
You again? And here I thought I'd seen the last of you. I'm sure you'll be more than hospitable to me this time around. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention one of the reasons I hunt your kind. You're much too ugly not to put out of your misery. Fuck off, featherface.
Okay, so say hello to Fortitude. So while you're on the this kind of rampart here, it has 3 main attacks that'll do. One is sweeping its tail at you, another one is either of the 2 heads can lunge at you, and then it can also fire molten rocks at you as well. So I think those are the only 3 attacks it does on that. Once you do enough damage to it, and this applies to whether or not you're fighting it on the rampart or on the ground here, it will get stunned and you'll be able to get some damage in on its head. So you can grab it and throw it, and you'll get a lot of damage off of that as well. Don't worry too much about your combo score, because there are some points in this fight, right here actually is one of them, where he's going to fly up onto the side of the Colosseum here, and you can't actually damage him at all during this part, so your combo will drop. So don't worry too much about that. The combo score is somewhat forgiving because of that. So here we have a sequence where you have to jump up these rocks. It's timed, and we're going to grab one of its heads and tear it off. Now, there are actually like 3 button matching segments here right in a row. And if you're really fast with the mashes, you can get upwards of like 100. I'll usually be somewhere in the just around 90. Where I usually get, so I got 88 on that time, so that's not bad. So we're gonna do the same thing with the other head. I think it will start doing some other attacks. So one thing that it'll do is it may turn the entire floor of the arena into lava, like it just did here. If you have the weapon that allows you to walk on lava without taking damage, then you can just leave the arena like this and keep on fighting it normally. But if you don't want to deal with that... Ah, dang it. Thought I got the timing on that second one, but I didn't. But if you don't have that weapon on your feet, then it may just be better for you to use the hourglass there and just reset the arena to its original state so you don't have to deal with that. So you should be getting fairly close to the second health gate. So while you're on the ground here, it does have quite a few attacks. One of them is the fireballs again. It can also lunge at you. And some of them have different... Yep. Some of them have different timing, so it can be a bit tricky telling which attack is actually using against you. So that's probably one of the hardest things about this fight, is just reading what attack you're dealing with. So if you can dodge things, you will get witch time off of most stuff. Ah! Could have sworn I hit the button in time for that one, but... So you should be getting close to the ripping the second head off. Also, one thing that is nice about these fights is that you can see that we're actually using Wicked Weaves for basically all of our attacks. So you will get combo multipliers pretty quickly because of that. Plus you also do a lot more damage as well. So helps, taking out these multiple health bars makes it a little bit more manageable. I feel like the second head actually is a bit faster, because I don't think I can get nearly as many button presses in for this one. Like, I only got 70 compared to the other one. I think the order in which you rip the heads off is random, because I've ripped off the red head before, the blue one, and of course there's vice versa, which we have here. Once you rip both of its heads off, you're gonna have a cutscene here. And now the arena's in the sky, because fighting on the ground is so last century. Love how Bayonetta activates Witch Time here just to grab her lollipop. So, this track here is called Time for the Climax. It'll play at the end of all the major boss fights. So what you want to do here is just wail on the boss as much as possible. It will be attacking you periodically. One of the attacks is this tail lunge. That'll happen 3 times. It can also fly away and charge at you, which I tried to dodge there, but was unsuccessful. Beware that laser attack. It's a bit tricky on the timing. Other than that, there are a few other attacks that it can do. It can try to basically land on the middle of this stage here and hit you with that, but that's pretty much the extent of it. Once you get its health down to 0, it's time for the climax. I can never seem to get that one any higher than 1,000. So you can mash longer than the circle would suggest. So I think the minimum to get on that one is 800, but I can get up to 1,000 on it. So keep mashing until it disappears.
foretold? Explain yourself.
So that is the first boss. So yeah, we did well on the combo, did good on time too, but damage was the only real problem. So I think a goal rank is acceptable. So the bosses serve as their own chapters. So that was, all of chapter 4. Right there. And given how short the episode actually is right now, I might just start chapter 5 in this episode since it would be kind of short otherwise. Missed that last mystery one. It's actually a deer, but so one of the cool things about bosses, you get lots of halos from them. So if you need to grind halos, actually just challenging the bosses over and over again can be a fairly solid way of getting halos. So before we start chapter 5, however, I'm going to go to the Gates of Hell since we now have a lot of money. And therefore, we can spend that money on various things.
You really want to make a deal with the devil? Relax. I'm just fucking with you.
Okay, so nothing new in weapons for now. I'm going to hold off on the accessories. And I could get some of these, but I think what I might do is get another one of the witch hearts. And I actually could get 2 if I really wanted to. I'm debating whether or not I want to save these halos up for some skills that will be unlocking soon. So I think I'll hold off on buying something for now, and hopefully we'll get enough halos in chapter 5 to be able to afford those techniques and possibly get the heart then as well. So let's just jump right into chapter 5, the Lost Holy Grounds.
Where the hell am I? I'd better have got frequent flyer miles for that flight.
Okay, so we are in a pretty interesting location in terms of geography. There's a note here to the left, right off the bat. Crescent and Sunrise Valley, so that is where we are right now. As overseers of history, the Lumen Sages and Umber Witches were both incredibly powerful, each fearing each other and strictly prohibiting interrelations as a way to maintain the balance of power. Upon the annual occasion of a total solar eclipse, only the selected elders of each clan were allowed to meet with the other group to conduct negotiations. I suppose that each clan, drawing their power from the sun and moon respectively, must have held the eclipse as the most special of celestial phenomena. The two clans, inexorably linked but opposed, like positive and negative, solidified this relationship in their interconnected mountain hideaways the Witch's Sanctuary of Crescent Valley, and the Sage's Sacred Sunrise Valley. Located in an inaccessible and treacherous region, these areas were lined with countless rows of stone monuments dedicated to each clan's dead, and large statues depicting a witch and sage stood at the center of the shared area, demarcating the border between each clan's territory. Each statue has its back turned to the other, and their visages, as though rejecting any human intrusion, stir intense feelings of discomfort within one's soul. Atop these statues, the clans met for their yearly consort, giving this place a mysterious but interesting ambience. These valleys were not just filled with memorial tombs, they were also home to training facilities in the light and dark arts, held as sacred ground by both clans. Today, the statue of the Umber Witch is truly a gruesome sight, as a giant spear has pierced the woman's chest. If it was shoved through the statue during Witch's age of persecution, it would have required unspeakable power from the Lumen Sage who carried out the act. That was a pretty long journal entry, but lots of history there. So, just make sure that you don't fall down any of these pits that will appear. Pathway is not the most stable. Has presumably not been used for many years. So we have a quick verse here with some decorations. They don't seem to be approaching me, which is a bit strange. So, this is the Umbran Training Ground ruins. So once we walk forward, we can check out this. Doesn't do anything. If you try to progress by taking the steps to the left, it's going to start another verse. Meet Grace and Glory. So these enemies are interesting. They're really fast. So you have to be on your toes when you're fighting them. Started off with a torture attack here because I built up the magic gauge from the decorations that we faced earlier. Oh, wow. They can hurt quite a bit, so be wary. I would recommend taking out one of them before dealing with the other one, just so that your life is easier. Oh man. So like once you get into some of their combos, you actually can't do anything. This guy is giving me quite a hard time. So that did not go nearly as smoothly as I was hoping. So for beating the first Grace and Glory here, oh man, I got a stone medal on damage for that. But you will get the first part of Sonata in DK448. So that will be another record that will be assembling throughout this verse. So now that we've beaten the Grace and Glory, if you run back to the beginning of the chapter, there's going to be an Alfheim verse. So mind the gaps, of course. And the portal should be here right where we started out. So hopefully I can, redeem myself with this Alfheim level from that fight. Okay, enemies can be defeated only during which time? That's too early. Okay, that's one. Attack me. But actually, using torture attacks against these guys is particularly effective. Ah, that was fast. Oh man, I could have sworn that I hit that. Just because it'll take out all of their health. Yep, did a little bit too early there. Ugh. You know what? I may as well just scrap this attempt at this point. That was kind of rough. Oh man, I could have sworn that I got that. And that one. This timing can be really unforgiving sometimes. Like that one. Some of their attacks have really obvious tells, like the one that it just did there. The flash comes well before the actual attack comes out. This one also, because you can see the windup. But some of them are just really hard to see coming. Okay, anytime you want to get up. Of course, one of the downsides about these only attack enemies during witch time events is that your combo score is usually not that great. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you once I actually succeed at this, so...
You want to tell me?
Well, that took way longer than I expected. That has to be one of the most annoying Alpine verses in the game. At least in my opinion. I think I spent upwards of 20 minutes trying to do this. Granted, it's a lot easier once you have a certain ability, but man, is it rough trying to do that without that ability. Like, just trying to, like, you can't attack the Grace and Glory at all, except for when you're in Witch Time, and that just is not fun. Because with a lot of these attacks, they're really hard to react to, so you basically have to predict that they're coming, which kind of defeats the whole point of Witch Time in, you know, my opinion, but whatever. We're done with that verse now, so with that, I think it is time to end the episode, so thank you very much for watching. I've been redxparasite, signing out.